Hi everyone, it's Tracy at For the Love of Stamping and welcome to my craft room. Today I'm excited to share with you a brand new product that's coming out January the 5th in the Occasions mini catalog that goes from January to June of 2021. The product that I'm going to show you is called blending brushes, and these blending brushes are amazing. You get 3 in a package and they retail for $16.25. Now that to me is a steal. And once you start using these blending brushes, you will never go back to sponges. So from the looks of the brushes, they appear to have a surface of a sponge, but they are not. They are actually made up of thousands of tiny little soft bristles that make the application and the blending of ink extremely easy, and the end result is absolutely stunning. And I'm going to show you today how I made this card doing an emboss resist technique. A couple of things about the brushes before we get going is that you can see how they are made. They do not come with labels. I've used a label maker to make mine, to label them, and I'm going to keep mine by color family. So I'm going to have them separated by reds, blue, yellow, green, purples, etc. Just so that I know that when I'm using the brush, the color family that they should be associated to. When you are finished using your brushes, you're going to want to make sure you do clean them out. There's a couple of ways of doing that. You can merely just rub them on the surface of a piece of cardstock until it appears that the ink is run clear, much like you would with a blender pen, or you can use run them under water. But keep in mind that they do retain water for a little while and they take time to dry. So you want to make sure that if you are using them on a project with, let's say various shades of one color, for example, blue, that instead of rinsing them off or cleaning them off with something like the Simply Chamois, which is a perfect tool for cleaning these brushes with, to just allow not to use water with them or use the chamois in between the application on one project, because you need to ensure that those brushes are dry or you will see streaks across your project, and you want to avoid that. Again, simply taking the brush and just rubbing it on the surface like you would a blender pen to take the ink off will allow you then to move on to the next shade of, in this case, blue. So let's get started. I am going to show you this emboss resist technique. I've already embossed this image with white embossing powder on white cardstock, and we'll start with, let's say, the Just Jade. So I'll put aside the brushes that I'm not going to be using, and I'll just keep out the ones that I am going to use. So I've got my greens, my blues, and my yellow brushes, and we'll start with Just Jade. And when using these brushes, the best tip that I can give you is to put your finger on the back, place it onto the ink pad, and in a circular motion, pick up the ink. Now, the harder you press into the ink pad, the more ink you're going to get onto your brush. So do be cautious and aware of that. So I'm going to just start by lightly going in a circular motion, pick up the ink, and I will start off the edge like I would with a sponge, but just bring that color in onto the base of, or the corner of this image. Again, pick up a little more ink, start off, and just lightly press. Now, the harder you press, the more intense that color is going to be. And what I would like to do is just try to keep this to a little bit more softness. So you can see how easy this ink goes on to the surface of the embossed resist image. And look at that. I mean, it's so smooth and it's so soft. So again, now that I'm done with that, I can just simply do this. Again, I like to push on the back of this as opposed to here because I've got more control over the brush versus back here where I don't have the control, and I don't want to run the risk of doing any kind of damage to the brush. So I'll set that aside and I'll bring out the blue. I'm going to go with Balmy Blue, and I'll show you how to bring these colors together. So once again, circular motion on the surface of my ink pad, pick up my ink, start off the edge, and just start to bring that color in. Just like so. Pick up a little more ink and bring it in. And look how easy it is to get these colors to merge together. You know, sponges I found, I often ended up with a sort of a clump of color, and trying to blend that out was pretty much next to impossible. I have not encountered that with these brushes, and I've done a few cards with them so far. So just keep adding your color to the intensity that you wish, and you'll see how beautiful that is. Look at that, eh? Super easy to use, super easy to blend. Those colors just sort of blend right into the next, or into each other, without any kind of, you know, harsh surface or harsh edges or anything like that. All right, so let's move on to the yellow now that I've got a nice layer of blue on there. Just put a little bit more right there. You can see there's, I mean, even though it doesn't look like, you know, the ink is on there, you just keep pressing that and that ink just releases off those little bristles. Okay, let's finish this off with some Daffodil Delight. Now, Daffodil Delight is an intense color, and you know, you want to be a little bit more cautious when picking this one up, and for sure, super, super light on the surface of this. Always with the yellows, test it out first, because I find the yellows very intense and easy to pick up the color. So I am not pressing hard whatsoever on the surface of this, just to add my first layer of yellow into the card and onto the front of the image. And now I'm just going to start adding a little bit more yellow and bring that color upwards. Look at that, like it totally blends in without any harsh lines at all. And I know I may sound like a broken record, but it just amazes me the ease of these brushes, how simple they are to use, and the results that you get, like, are just incredible. So I hope that as you're seeing me do this, you're thinking of all the applications in which you can create various shades, various gradation of color, different techniques. Think of what you could do. You could use a stencil and create some cool images with different shades of color or different colors altogether. You can do many things with it, and I hope that you are encouraged to want to pick up a set or two of these extremely stunning blending brushes. Again, the item code for these is 153611, available starting January the 5th. Talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye for now.